got the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk. Presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley. Breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark.
Hope everybody's okay. Hit us up on the McClellan Chiropractic chat room.
He's got the scoop.
I think I just combined the word room and line. Loom. We're going to be making knitting. We're going to be making products today. Professional Door Incorporated text line 540-391-0788. Thanks, Prometheus. Yeah, kind of cool. Kinda cool. A song that was gifted to the show. I really appreciate it. Coming up today, man, we got a lot going on. Jeez. Kion Brown joins us. We'll talk some hoops. Damien Sordelett, and we'll give him his flowers. He said this about a month and a half ago about Brent Pry possibly returning, and here we are. David Teel, the Hall of Famer, and Virginia Tech assistant basketball coach J.D. Byers. Yeah, got a lot going on, man. And you, of course, the best watching/listening audience in YouTube. From Southwest Virginia, Opal is a tickling. Opal made the open. I like it. Prometheus is a mixin'. Wayne is a lawyer, and here in Palm Coast, Morris is a chillin'. Yeah, see, you've got the best job. Morning, Morris. Yeah, I think we should blame Damien. Tech also named their offensive coordinator. I want to get into that with you. Seems like we've been to this party before. A tight ends coach who's never called plays. Matter of fact, the only coaches who seem to be joining the staff, at least publicly, are ones who are out of options in their other spots. Quarterbacks coach also coming from Penn State. Of course, that staff was going to turn over because, the new coach there, Matt Campbell. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on all that. I'll be honestly, not criticizing it. A little, hey, what's up, Crunch? Little surprised at the choice of offensive coordinator. A little surprised that it's someone who's inexperienced. But at this stage of the game, maybe that's the person that Franklin, honed in on, and maybe not. I'm going to ask Prometheus today about that. going to ask Damien, because it's still strange, because I know finally on Tech Sideline they acknowledged it. Finally, it's been strange to me that at least the two local written journalistic sources that cover Virginia Tech have not written anything about Brent Pry. Hey, Opal, you made the open. Scroll back. Good morning. Reed Morris is open. You made it. Underwhelmed. Yeah. On paper, you have to be. You have to be. But so finally, Hokie Sports, I think before the podcast yesterday, said many sources are reporting. So apparently no one's told them, and clearly no one's told Damien because he hasn't reported it. I'm assuming it's real because it was nationally reported, but not locally reported, which is odd. Did that mean that the information was intentionally given to others and not the people who, Tech fans have come to rely on? I don't know the answer. We'll find out some of these answers. So, I think yesterday was kind of – actually, you can look at both coordinators and kind of, okay. I mean, we know Brent Pry. He wasn't successful as a head coach. James Franklin knows him better than anybody, and he was his co-coordinator at Vanderbilt and Penn State, so they know the kind of defense they want to run. So that one, even though it's strange and an odd circumstance, you can say, okay. But Tyler Howe has never been a coordinator, and that surprises me a little bit. And I don't know what that says about the process of the staff. We'll see what it all looks like when it all comes out. Opal says she feels famous. Good morning, Rodney. Good stuff. Good stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But Howe comes over. Danny O'Brien is the new quarterback's coach, guy who played at Maryland. He was Franklin's quarterback coach at Penn State. So he's getting guys that, he's hired before. I always look at the comments of some of these things. You can take them for what it is. People aren't really high on the O'Brien hire. He's Penn State's quarterbacks. It is what it is. I think the best you could say is mixed reviews, even from the people that are just, full on board with everything. So we'll see. We'll see. Give guys a chance and let them develop. That's the other side of this. But at Virginia Tech, are you the fan base that needs guys to develop? I mean, you've suffered long enough, right? You've suffered long enough. Too good of fans to have to go through another slow build. And I don't think it's going to be a slower build given where the ACC is. It can happen. We'll see what the talent level looks like out of the portal. That's going to be the next key. And we'll continue to get staff reveals. I'm hearing just about the entire current staff is going to be gone. I know he struck out on his offensive line coach yesterday. So you may see retention there. We'll talk about that with Damien. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. James Madison hired their offensive coordinator, by the way. He's a Nick Saban disciple, Robert Bala. So we'll just have to be a wait and see. But I looked at the comments from Tech fans, and Trow Wayne, the offensive line coach at Penn State, decided not to come. So I think more might be retained. We'll see. And that wouldn't be a terrible thing. He's got a lot of young guys to develop that they just brought over from Penn State, the recruiting class. But, like Mike Burnop said yesterday, they're going to need some guys to come out. They're going to have to be some guys to come out of that portal across the front. And the quarterback's going to be huge. So we'll get a better feel here. And you have to wait. There's so many. The market's going to be interesting, the kind of money that's been spent. And how much money do you have designated? That becomes, you have to be leery of your budget. There were some accusations about Franklin and misusing his budget. The top 25 NIL college football earners was released. Arch Manning made $6.5 million. But I bring this up because Penn State had 2 of the top 25. James Franklin paid $5 million to 2 players last year. Well, you see this graphic, it really depresses you. Every one of the top 25 NIL college football leaders made at least $1.7 million. Whew. Manning at 6.5, Beck at 4.2, the Ohio State quarterback at 4.0. Sellers made $3.7 million. And then Penn State has 2 guys in here in the top 25. Auburn also has 2. Trying to see if that's the only 2 schools that have 2 players making over $5 million or more. I'm trying to see here. Yeah. But anyway, so the budget's going to be interesting to see who he's able to get. It's going to be the next step, along with once we get the staff finalized, and we'll get your take on it. But, you want to give somebody a chance to come in here and prove themselves, but I find it hard to believe that you're overly excited about who was named offensive coordinator yesterday. I kind of thought it would be somebody more established because we don't know the kind of offense. Now we kind of know that basically if you're bringing in the tight ends coach for the second time, Brent Pry brought in the tight ends coach, Tyler Bowen. You kind of get an idea now, it's going to be a very similar offense to what Penn State run, which makes sense. It's what Franklin was comfortable with. So Penn State's going to have, Virginia Tech's going to have a very similar look to the way, Penn State plays. Watch Penn State in their bowl game coming up. TLB says retirement is a wonderful profession. The earlier, the better. It's like being a child again with years of wisdom gained from life experience. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. We'll see what happens. And people ask me a lot on the professional door text line. I haven't seen any rumblings yet. I don't know. I guess we're going to go through it now because we're paying more attention. I don't know. I guess I've never paid much attention to it to see if there's like leaks. Like, how you have leaks from the agents, like Jimmy Sexton will leak things about coaches to try to get his clients more money. I don't know if like the handlers for these higher paid folks, which will be quarterbacks and tackles, cornerbacks, edge rushers. I don't know how much leaking goes on, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if I'm sure they do. I guess I'll watch it more closely now when they try to pit their client, their player against other schools. Oh, he's just, it seems like it's a natural progression. If coaches are being put out there to try to get more money from either the school that they're at now or another school who they've talked to, I'm sure it's happening all over with players. I'll watch that more closely now than I did before, just to kind of get a beat on the type of players that Franklin's going to be targeting. We'll see if we get any kind of clues. So I don't know. Yeah, Troy Aikman said he's not giving any more money because he gave money to Dante Moore, the quarterback who transferred. That's who he gave money to. But it's interesting that he came out the day of the Chesney official press conference and said that. Could have picked a different day. So we'll see. Everybody's trusting the plan, baby. It's all about James Franklin. And I understand why, especially what you're coming out of. I get it. But we'll talk to Damien about that and get his thoughts on it. I guess the guy's a pretty good recruiter. His head coach is a pretty good recruiter. But recruiting now, especially going forward in the portal, is going to come down to one thing, and that's going to be money. All over the country. If anybody thinks it's anything different, you're just wrong. I mean, what we're going to see now when the portal opens and all these guys who are entering the portal, they're either making silent deals or they're being told this is how much you might get. Everybody who comes now is usually, we'll say there might be a couple of exceptions to the rule, but guys are going to go for the maximum dollar. This is the market. And this stuff has gotten so out of hand that it's getting ready to implode, and something's going to happen here sooner than later. When I saw this top 25 NIL earnings, it just blew my mind. I don't know how long we can keep on doing this and why we continue to think that this is going to just be the MO going forward. It's not. This is ridiculous money. Did you see where Utah is now turning its whole athletic program over? I believe it's an oil company, a tech oil company or something. They're going to have investment pieces. It's going to be just like a professional team, a minor league type of model. And this is where it's all going. This thing's getting ready to completely blow up, and I don't really know any longer what it's going to look like. Yeah, the Ricky Ronnie stuff, I never thought that was going to happen. And it may have been a situation where maybe he was counting on Ronnie and Ronnie turned him down. I know if I were building a program, as hard as he's worked to get ODU up, it'd be hard to walk away. I never bought the Ricky Ronnie stuff. I think I'd mentioned that here several times. Again, it's personal, what your personal choice is going to be. But if you're a head coach, man, you're a head coach. And he's going to get a bump in money. At the end of the day, he may realize, hey, maybe the money's not going to be that different. And he doesn't want to go back down to be a coordinator. Right? So I never was buying into that. I know people were trying to will that to happen because especially after Pry, but I never really thought that was going to be the case. I think Ronnie's a good coach, and I believe he can parlay Old Dominion into maybe an elite power or elite G5 job, right? He could go up from ODU to, you don't even have to think Power 4, right? He could climb like Bob Chesney climbed, and he could go from ODU at some point. Maybe he will. Who knows? I mean, I'm talking like a USF or Memphis type of school. I don't know. He may be extremely happy at Old Dominion. I don't know. So, what do you mean no one on the Penn State team was in the top 25? I'm looking at the graphic right now. There's 2 Penn State guys on here. One of them is ranked number 8. I don't know them by their faces. And the other one is ranked number 20. Is that right? Yeah. There's one of them. See the Penn State logo? See right there? $3.2 million. I guess that's the quarterback. Guessing that's the quarterback. And then I don't know is that a running back, defensive player? There's the other one. See yeah. There it is. So, yes, Penn State had 2 in the top 25. I mean, I'm looking at the damn graphic. So, yeah. And that's $5 million on 2 players. We know there's going to be more money at Tech, but I don't know if you can afford to spend $5 million on 2 players. We'll have to wait and see. But, again, we don't know the breakdown of anything. We never know the breakdown on anything because nobody has to report what they spend. Nobody has to report anything. And this stuff is completely out of control. We know the big boys are going to have more money. I can only imagine what Utah is going to end up with if they're turning their athletics program. And that got voted on unanimously by the board. Unanimously. How about that? Yeah, the graphics from On3. This graphics from On3. There you go. So anyway, well, I just showed you, but okay. So is this going to be the norm going forward? Are we going to see programs just selling themselves, right? I don't know, man. That's crazy what Utah. You got to read the Utah story. It's fascinating. And how have we let it get to all of this? Seriously. Man, oh, man. It's, you know what it is? It's the free-for-all. Since there are 0 rules, 0 legislation, 0 anything, anybody can just do what they need to do, what they think they need to do, and who's going to step up and say no? It's crazy. What if just think about here locally, what if we had a report next week, Virginia Tech had sold its athletic department to, I don't know, who's the richest corporation around here? Not necessarily locally, but regionally. Who's that? Who would that be? I mean, how would we feel about that? I don't know. Carilion, yeah. Carilion Hospital bought Virginia Tech athletics program. That's basically what happened with Utah yesterday. It's the simple explanation. It blew my mind. They won't be the last. They're the first, but they won't be the last. And then I see this list, and you see all those multimillionaires, and you're just, it's not sustainable. There's nothing about this that is sustainable in any way, shape, or form. And the players are just jumping into this thing with no rules, and they are entitled now, and they are gimme. And when we just saw the coaching's turnover, all the coaches that lost jobs, right, this free-for-all, how hard is it for these coaches they have to play along, don't they? I mean, they have to fall in line. Or they lose their jobs. Man. Yeah. Arch Manning making, what was it, $6.2 million? More than the rookie contracts. That's why more of these guys are trying to stay in college. They know that their bigger payday may be in college. Yeah. Just bizarre. So I don't know. It's very disturbing. And people just continue to let it happen. And I think because everybody knows they might be in that position one way or the other going forward. So, yeah. Oh, the UCLA thing, Prometheus. When I was 6, I had an uncle who lived in California that was getting married. And, I know I liked football. I didn't know much about any of the teams or anything. And we flew out, my family, my mom and dad, and my brother. to be in the wedding. My mom wanted to be there, and my dad was in the wedding. And he was a UCLA season ticket holder. It just happened to be around New Year's Day. And that year, 1976, UCLA played Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. I'll have to bring the programs out here. I don't have them down here. But anyway, I still have the program and the ticket. So my first ever football game was the 1976 Rose Bowl. And we sat in the UCLA section. And UCLA that day was playing undefeated Ohio State with two-time Heisman Trophy winner Archie Griffin. Number 45, the only two-time winner of the Heisman Trophy. And we sat there, and UCLA upset them. John Shira was the quarterback. You remember that? And UCLA beat them and knocked him out of the national championship. Of course, you didn't have a playoff. It was just however the poll showed up. And so I went to that. And then 2 nights later, I went to go watch the first college basketball game I'd ever seen. And that was against UCLA against the Denver University. And I still have that program. I have to bring that out. I kept all that stuff over the years. So that's what it was. My first football game was the 1976 Rose Bowl. And then my first basketball game was a couple of nights later. This was after Coach Wooden had, he'd left the previous year. But so, yeah, I'm sitting there and looking around, see all the banners and everything. So I guess I just brought it back with me. Then they had those beautiful uniforms, the powder blue and gold. When they played Ohio State in that Rose Bowl, they each had their dark uniforms on. Oh, man. So, yeah, I had a pretty grand discovery of college football sitting in the granddaddy of them all. And I had no clue. I'm just tagging along. Hey, we're going to this game. Okay. Yay, football. Woo. No idea. But there you go. That is the long and short of it. And then you get back and, all your friends and family members are Tech fans. And so you're like, okay, cool. Yeah, Tech's cool. I like Tech. Went to a lot of Tech games. Yeah. Wow. Wayne says UCLA was the first team with the black alternates. No, they didn't. They didn't have black alternates, Wayne. It's not true. It's just not true. That's true. Paul, you're right. That's a UCLA game, right? In Back to the Future 2 that they're listening to on the radio. And I believe that was the actual broadcast. That's true. That's true. Wow, no wonder you're in sports broadcasting. Well, David says just wait until the players start putting companies on their shield under their face masks like Ricky Bobby and Fig Newtons. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Well, sure, it's going to happen. Why not? It's going to happen. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the other part of it. I mean, I'm very excited for Bob Chesney, and if I were still on board with UCLA, I would be very excited. But I meant what I said a couple months ago. I no longer have that vibe for them. Right? It's over. It's over. I cannot stand with what they stand for when their politics openly celebrate the cold-blooded murder of someone they disagree with. I am done. Sorry. Some things are bigger than how long you've pulled for a team. So, yeah, exactly. Joining us now on the program, speaking of bigger than a team, he's Kion Brown. What's up, KB?
Rick Watson, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there, man. Hope you are.
I'm hanging in there too, man. I can't complain about a thing right now.
Well, yeah, because you're about to get out of some schooling for a while.
Yeah. Come on now, one more week, but who's counting? You guys got some snow though.
Yeah, we did, but today is going to be a big melt. It's supposed to get to like 50 degrees out here. So
are the kids out of school today, or they got a delay, or what's the deal up there?
I don't know. I didn't check.
Okay.
See, all mine are gone, so I don't.
Yeah. You don't got to worry about that no more.
Oh, I just know they've been closed the last two. But like at Radford, we were closed. Like it just kind of got going on Monday, right? We had this big forecast, so they closed Radford down. And then yesterday, when it was very slick early, they opened regular time. And there were reports of students and people falling all over the place. And I was thinking, wait a minute, you closed it before the roads got bad just because of the forecast. If you're going to open it on Tuesday, you probably should have delayed it because by 10 o'clock, after the salt takes effect and the sun comes out, stuff was melting. But I was slodding all over the place. People were coming in with me at the Devon Center. We were, I was like, what are we doing? But yeah. But we're okay.
I need to ask Principal Wilder what he feels about snow days.
Oh, he loves them. He loves them.
How's that? Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into your take real quick before we get into some hoops. I looked at that list yesterday, the top 25 players in college football, all millionaires. This is going to end pretty soon, isn't it? This is about to have a very, very horrible ending, isn't it? This is not going to be functional for too much longer.
It's not going to be functional. I still don't know what they're going to do. I know I was listening to a lot of media days in the ACC. A couple of coaches mentioned it. A couple of Big 12 coaches mentioned it. Basketball coaches mentioned that a lot of the information should be public as to how much money a team has to spend. So I think it was Jeff Capel I was listening to, the head coach at Pittsburgh, and he was saying that if you see I'll just throw a random team out there, a Kentucky salary versus a Pittsburgh salary, you'll see what you have to go up against as far as recruiting. Now you look at Kentucky, who has a $22 million budget. They're just proving to you that just because you have NIL, it does not equal success automatically. Kentucky's struggling right now. And Coach Pope, I don't know what's going on there, but they're not a very good team right now. But they have the #1 salary in college basketball, so it's not translating right now. So at the end of the day, NIL is probably the most important. It's the most important tool for recruiting, but at the same time, it guarantees nothing as far as success. So I think, I can agree with that. Let's put it out publicly and see how much these teams are really spending, and then you can compare it with others and see how it goes that way. But there's going to be some type of salary cap. That's the only solution to this that I can see off the top of my head right now. I just don't know what they're going to do.
And turn these guys into employees.
Right.
It's the only solution. They're going to have contracts, incentives.
Yes.
Academic incentives would be nice, wouldn't it? Performance incentives, certainly. And if you leave, you forfeit. You have to sign on the dotted line. If you're going to be a pro, you're going to be treated like a pro.
Yeah. So how does that look for, I guess it's based on the institution. How can it be universal across the board when NIL is different for, we'll say, the Atlantic 10 and certain programs in that conference versus the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12? How is it going to look?
And who's going to enforce it? Who's going to enforce any of it?
That's the problem where it's going to be. Obviously, the Atlantic 10 is a very good basketball conference.
Yes, it is.
Then VCU has a solid budget, but when you look at the bottom of that, of the LaSalle's and the Davidsons and some of those lower tier teams in the Atlantic 10, how are they going to compete with those upper tier, those upper echelon schools? Is it going to be different for the Power Fours? Is it going to be different for the mid-major? Are rules going to be for everyone? We'll just have to wait and see.
I know. I'm with you. And it's just like when you're at a school and a coach leaves, you lose all that money.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing. The money's gone. That's why, all those guys came with James Franklin to get paid again. And that's what a lot of that was. I mean, people don't want to talk about that, but that's why they lost their money. Their coach was gone. The university is no longer obligated. New coach may not want those players, right? They're going to pay the players that Matt Campbell wants. And now Tech's going to pay the players James Franklin wants.
Virginia Tech has a different scenario when you got the defensive coordinator as your former head coach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. But hey, if Coach Pry likes it, I love it. Hey, who can, right?
Hey, I love the dude, so I wish him well. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. Really good guy. All right, but anyway, it's kind of sobering what's going on, man. And now we're going to see a free-for-all.
Yeah.
We don't know. And I'm going to ask you, you follow a lot closely than I do. How much have you seen where we know these kids, some of them have real agents, some of them have handlers, and they're just putting out there, hey, I'm getting this from another school, or I'm talking to this school, and they're trying to bid themselves against somebody else, right? Just like agents do head coaches.
Yeah, well, that happens all the time. I know of a few agents who represent players who say, you know, they've been in situations where they've told a Power 4 coach, I'm getting offer X, Y, and Z from another high major school. And once they tell them the number, the coach that they're pitching it to walks out of the room. Like, I'm not matching that. I'm just not doing it. One, I understand you're trying to squeeze this orange and get all the pulp and juice out that you can, but at the same time, some of these players aren't worth that.
No.
I mean, it's some players in college basketball that you and I know, Rick Watson, that are making $500,000.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Excellent players. I'm not mad at them, but man, it's a new day, dude. It's a new day.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But in any event, here we are, and college hoops so far, the way it's developing, we're going to have, hey, by the way, JD's coming on at the end of the show. Wanted me to tell you hello. You
that's my guy.
I know are very close. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, man, I would not be here if it wasn't for that dude.
He was your recruiter, right? Your main
He was my recruiter. I got this awful news. When I was at Fork Union, I went to the National Prep Showcase in Connecticut. Blew up there. Had 2 good games. One game was against a guy going to Purdue. The other game was a center going to UConn. Both games I had 20 and 10. We go home for Thanksgiving break. I come back to Fork Union, and I have 60 scholarship offers.
Wow.
60. Like
for one event,
60
after one event. Wow.
After one event. And then what happened was, you know, something happened with the NCAA and my eligibility, and they were thinking I wasn't going to get eligible. And then out of the 60 schools, 8 of them kept their scholarship because they wanted to fight for me. And one of them was Virginia Tech men's basketball coach Mike Young at Wofford, but he was a Fork Union guy as well. So I'm, you know, I owe a lot to him as well for not giving up on me. But Coach Byers was like, dude, I'm going to get you eligible, and you're going to come to Radford with me. He got me eligible. I got that phone call. I think it was on July 5th, said, we got you cleared. It was Coach Jones, Coach Byers, Coach Hawkins, all of that staff on the phone, and said, we're going to call him and surprise him. I got it, dude. Tears started flowing down my eyes. I couldn't believe it. They were like, you'll be on campus in 3 weeks. We can't wait to have you. You won't be able to come to summer school because it's almost over now, but we'll have you on campus. And Coach Byers, when we hung up, called me after, and we were just crying on the phone together for so long, dude. I remember I had got, you know, I think I told the story. We'll save it for another day. I got one of the basketball players at Radford pregnant. The first person I called wasn't even my mom. It was Coach Byers. That's how it is. He was the first person I called.
Yeah, no, I get that, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. That's a good story, man. That's cool. I couldn't remember I remember it was something with the clearinghouse. Remember you told me that before. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something with the clearing. It was almost a colleague Jones situation where they wanted me to prop. But we fought. We fought though.
Well, heck, they don't even talk about any of that stuff now. You'd have kept your 60 offers now.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd have been like, hey, what do you want to sign for, man? What do you need?
Exactly. Nothing would happen. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, obviously, you know, he and I are going to talk about the Hokies a lot in the ACC. How do you league going pretty much like you thought so far in the non-con overall?
Kind of. ACC is much improved. NC State is a little underwhelming, as I thought they'd be just powerhouses. But the 2 teams that I thought would be at the top are at the top. Duke and Louisville. Duke looks better than Louisville right now, though. Louisville lost that game to Arkansas a week ago. Duke has just been running through squads, and that win on Saturday at Michigan State was huge. I'm a believer in Duke now. I didn't know what to think, but, you know, WOWZA, that man is unbelievable. Second in scoring, 22 and 10. He is a man. He is a combination of his dad and Paolo Banchero. It's like both of those guys together.
That's pretty good.
That's what I see when I see him. Like the physicality on the inside of his dad, but the modern game of Banchero, same size, same build, a bit more physical than Banchero was when he was at Duke on the inside. But man, I'm impressed with Duke and what I'm seeing. Not impressed with the Big East. The Big East is definitely underwhelming right now. You got UConn, who had a great win yesterday against Florida. You got St. John's, who's hit or miss. They aren't as good as I thought that they'd be, but everyone else is like, come on, man. Georgetown seems a bit improved, so I'm happy about that. But you look at the rest of that league, and it is bad in the Big East. Then you look at the Big Ten, and you look at Michigan, Dusty May, Elliott Cadeau. They look like they might be the best team in college basketball. And then you can never give up on Purdue as well. When you got Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Trey Kaufman, Wren. Those guys will be there at the end as well. So it's a lot of good teams in college basketball, but the ones I just mentioned are probably the ones that are the best in the sport right now.
Let me ask you about Georgetown. You bring up Georgetown. I was talking about, it was funny. I was just yesterday talking about Georgetown and how that program, after John Thompson left, his son took over. They have never been able to bounce back to what they were. It just shows you what a great job John Thompson Sr. did, who I got to interview once. And you talk about just one of the best conversations with anyone I've ever had, and not about basketball, just about the life journey, that guy.
Right.
But what happened to Georgetown basketball?
Well, Radford basketball kind of happened to him because my senior year when we beat them. That was the last year for John Thompson III. Yep. And then, you have this musical chair of coaches, and now you have a guy who's been there, done that in college basketball, and Ed Cooley, and this is his third year there. And I think he has the chance to put Georgetown back to where they once were. He was a Providence guy. It was a lot of commotion once he decided to leave his hometown of Providence to take the job at Georgetown. And now this is the best squad that he's had in his 3 years. And with the Big East being as bad as it's been, I think he's going to take advantage of it. Now, they did win the Big East tournament. I think it was 2021, but that doesn't count when Patrick Ewing, because they got advances because of COVID. But other than that, there just hasn't been any success for that program. But I think Ed Cooley is going to do what he has to do and what he needs to do for that program to be successful. I think he's on the right foot right now this season, and I think he'll continue to build off of that. But if anybody can do it, it's Ed Cooley. He took that job for a reason. I think he's the man to turn it around.
Good coach. He's a really good coach. There's no doubt. So we're looking at how many teams? You think 7 teams at least out of the ACC go to the tournament?
Probably about
Texan
7,
NCAA. Texan NCAA team.
They're an NCAA team, especially with Toby Lawal.
Yes.
Like, they're a different team without him, though. They need him. You saw what happened in the Bahamas. His absence changed everything. I mean, when you talk about probably the most athletic player in college basketball, a rim protector, a rebounder, a finisher, his game continues to evolve. They need him. So as long as he's healthy, they're without a doubt an NCAA tournament team, but they're a whole new team without him. I think NC State still could sneak into the tournament. Duke, Louisville's a lock. UVA seems like a lock to me, and what Coach Bennett is doing there, goodness. This is the first time they've been ranked in 2 years. So that didn't take long for him at all. He recruits shooter. He's got like 8 guys that shot 40% from 3. Like, it's ridiculous. So when you play UVA, it's crazy.
Jeez, Ryan Odom. He comes right in and doesn't miss a beat down there.
It doesn't miss a beat. Right. And Disney couldn't write a better story about him in UVA, right? You grew up there,
especially
with your
now.
dad. You go to UMBC. You're the first 16 seed to beat a 1 seed, which was UVA. Go to VCU and Utah State for a little bit. Come up to UVA where you upset those guys, and now they'll never forget that moment. But they kind of will accept it because you're the coach of the program now. So UVA is a lock in. Syracuse looks good this season. I mean, there's some good squads in the ACC, some good basketball.
Well, the thing with Tech, too, and you know this, like, they're playing now, trying to fight through losing one of their best players. That's only going to make them better. Think about when they get the full speed again come conference time.
Yeah, they'll be full speed for sure.
I mean,
and he'll have to he'll have to work his way back into rotation, back into rhythm, get back into a flow offensively. But, man, if they could stay healthy once he returns, they're going to be the team that nobody wants to play. They're going to be an old Tim Kraft, Gardner-Webb type team. Yeah. Whereas, like, you see those guys on your side of the bracket in the tournament, you're like, God damn it, what do we got to do with this?
What are we going to do now? Yeah. And finally, in our league, the Big South, it's a lot better than people thought. Gardner-Webb being a separate story. I hate what's happening with Coach Luther's squad, but I'm telling you, USC Upstate looks generally good to me. They have 2 big mid-major wins this past week. Charleston Southern saw Nimley. I mean, this league's a lot deeper than I think a lot of people understand.
Yeah, but right now, two teams stand out at the top, and it's Winthrop and High Point. High Point is I'm not going to call them overrated, but it's a lot of hype around those guys, and I think it's just too much hype based on not knowing what you know because you haven't seen them play. Before the season started, there were people saying that they could go undefeated through with their schedule. Yeah. Never thought that, but when you lose a Kamani Hamilton or Kessa Jiffa or Jocelyn Bodo, and then you got new guys coming in, how can you automatically say they're going to be the best team in mid-major basketball? It just makes no sense to me. And they were crowning them too early. Now they got 2 early losses, and the steam is starting to leave from those guys. But they're still, in my opinion, the best team that I've seen in the league, along with Winthrop. You know, our guys finally got a win against a St. Francis team who's, let's face it, they're pretty much D3. They're going to transition next year to that D3. Yeah. So I love for our guys to come out and play hard, because at the end of the day, man, that conference play is brutal. And, you know, it gets harder once you get to conference play. You got to have that effort out there if you're our guys. And come on, Radford. I said it last week. Get it together, dude. Get it together.
Yeah, 2-11 Coppin State on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, Coppin State's probably been one of the worst Division I programs in the last 5 years. You know, you go from Juan Dixon, you know, he leaves, and now they got new coaching. It seems like he's picked up, and the culture hasn't changed too much there. So I'm expecting to win from Radford versus Coppin State. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Their coach is like 10-55. I saw the record yesterday. So.
Yeah.
Hey, before we let you go, a question on the chat in the text line here, Professional Door text line. Is Kion a big shoe guy? Is Kion a big shoe guy? Come on.
Oh, man, who asked that?
Just a texter.
Texter. Okay. Come on, man. Oh, we got kicks around here, dude.
Do you guys, how many pairs of shoes do you have?
Oh, man, I got a closet full upstairs. Like, the boxes are starting to deteriorate. I got some shoes. So
all Jordans, right? All Jordans.
Absolutely not. They're all Nike or Jordan, though. I'll say that. I'm not an Adidas guy. I'm a Nike or Jordan guy. I'm a 90s kicks guy. Penny Hardaways, Charles Barkley, some versions of the LeBrons. LeBron's such a big guy that his shoes are so bulky, so you got to be selective with what you get. Obviously, Jordan's has the best shoe in the history of shoes. All right, I'm not afraid to say that he is the GOAT of shoes.
He's the greatest of everything, even shoes.
He is not. He's not. The shoes, you got it. You got it, Jordan. But come on, man. But we got kicks, dude.
What about, like, you remember the old Converse shoes in the late 80s?
Yeah, I'm not a Converse guy at all.
I was going to say, would you like, was somebody like ever gifted you a pair that, wouldn't that be cool to kind of like have like an old Magic pair of those Converse, like a new pair, but like ones that would be kind of cool. The old throwback Converse.
Yeah, if you can customize them, make them LeBron or something. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I kind of figured, one day we'll have to just get you, like, showed us your shoe closet.
Yeah, it's bad up there, man. It's just the boxes are just it's bad. It looks good, but my foot hasn't grown since I was in middle school. So I still have shoes upstairs from when I was in middle school, and they still look brand new. They really do.
Like size 13 or something? What are you?
I wear 12.
You wear 12, okay.
Yeah.
I remember you had a big foot. I do remember that. Hey, what's your favorite Jordan series? Chris is asking in chat.
What do you mean, Jordan series?
Like your Jordan shoe series, your favorite. Is there one that stands out over the other?
Probably the Jordan 11s.
The 11s?
Yeah. My first pair were the playoff 13s, so those hold near and dear to my heart, too. That was my first pair of Jordans. The playoff black Jordan 13s, and they just re-released last year, so I got a second pair of those.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
And what I love about the sneaker game right now is that it's not oversaturated anymore. When COVID happened, it was the biggest sneakers have ever been. So if you wanted to get a shoe on resale, you're paying premium. You're paying $400 to $500. Now it's died down. You can get shoes at retail right now, and I love it because most people just want to do it just to say they have it. I do it because I love shoes and I want to wear them, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't want to just put them away in a box. Right. Yeah, you wear your shoes. Yeah,
now, if it's a shoe that's so popular that everybody has them when I'm walking outside, I'll keep them on ice because I don't want to have the same shoes that everyone else has. But other than that, I'm wearing mine, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. See, this is good. We could talk about shoes probably for a whole show. And you can,
absolutely.
You can bring...
Yeah.
All right, brother. Great stuff as always, man. Thanks for your breakdowns, and we'll reconvene again next week. And you'll be just about done with school for a few weeks, and you're going to be all good. You're going to be
man.
so happy.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna reach out to you later. I want to call that game with you next Thursday at William and Mary.
Oh, beautiful! Heck yeah!
Do that.
Oh, beautiful!
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man.
You're in, baby. You
oh,
just
we're
let
good.
me know. You
we're
just
good.
let me
Gotcha.
know. All right, man. Take care, KB.
All right, brother.
Great stuff from Kion Brown. Yeah, Keon's in. He doesn't have to ask twice. He's in. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Radford's only road game in December is that game up in Williamsburg on the 18th. That's a Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday. Not this Thursday. Next Thursday. Good stuff from KB. Shoe knowledge from my guy. I'd love to see his collection. I would be. I'd love to see his collection. That'd be cool. I want to thank Family Fencing for sponsoring our studio here in Ryder. Family Fencing Studios, 540-200-8294, familyfencinginterview.com. They are the absolute best, and we thank them for everything. McClellan Chiropractic, sponsor of, our chat room, which is so much fun every day to interact with everybody. Mark Hunley's the best in the business. You can go hang out with him, and he will pop you back into good health. Ready, Set, Fun, ReadySetFun.com. BobChrist11@gmail.com. They have text messages ready for you. Check out the website. It's not expensive at all, and you can raise a lot of money for your organization, your sports team. If you have a squad, it doesn't have to be high school, middle school, Sandlot, whatever. They helped Floyd County raise $4,000 in a week for softball. And now they're good to go with uniforms and equipment. It's awesome. Awesome. Travis Williams, Professional Door Incorporated, sponsor of our text line, residential, commercial garage doors. He's going to go watch JMU play Oregon. Operation for 38 years, right across from the NRCC. Great guy, great business. Go up there, make it a career. So happy he got his staff filled. Thank you so much for the response to the call. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner, BDST on YouTube. Thanks so much to Larry Ramsey. I've been with National Bank for 35 years. They're the best. Go get your next vehicle at Harvey's GM in Radford. Go see Brad Harvey. If you're looking for something, call Brad, leave a message, get on his schedule. He'll work with you for however long it takes. He'll take down all your information. He'll have options for you the next day, if not that night. I'm serious. He's the best. BDST Fan Question Week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Pry. Folks are not buying into the hire of Brent Pry right now on the Fan Question of the Week. He specializes in trust and estate planning. We are at 50 people who say they don't like the hire, and the people who like it are falling back. It's like 36, so it's a minus 14. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Go see Charles Lee. It's cold. It's snowy. I see the trucks driving around. You know why? Because they're always in demand, because they are big business, because they do it right. You save money. They fix your units. They come out and service your units. They get the best equipment. They don't BS you. Go see Charles Lee and Little River Heating and Air. And I'm going to call Tim Miller today. Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment is the presenting sponsor of this program. See if we can get maybe tomorrow even somebody on from their organization to update us on the track and everything else as we get ready to turn the calendar, as we battle through winter here, and then warm weather and all the good stuff will start to come our way. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel for all of his wonderful work that he did on our T-shirts. If you want a T-shirt, hit me up. They're $20 here locally. Sold a couple yesterday. $30 if you need them sent to you. They are terrific. I want to thank the NRV Super Bowl. It's the area's leading entertainment center, and they want to make it better. They got NRV Nightlife starting up. That opens up on Friday, December the 12th from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Give them a call at 540-382-5525. Ask for Amanda or Terry. They're celebrating Sarah Williams, the bowler of the month. She used 288 and 271 rounds. Are you kidding me? Add up all my bowling scores together. It's not that. It's not that. And I want to thank everybody at the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce. Thanks to all of them. Damien Sordelett joins us, the Virginia Tech football beat writer, here momentarily. Knicks fan, what's up, Knicks fan? How you doing? I own no Nike shoes, definitely not. Adidas all day. Okay. Hey, it's about your personal choice. There aren't any wrong answers. It's whatever you like, right? Shack Jam shoes. Yeah, William & Mary is a beautiful campus. Yeah, it is. It is. Hey, Opal, yeah, it was a great segment. Kion is awesome. Kion is awesome. Awesome. Yeah, Tebow, I know. Seems to be striking out on a lot of his guys. Can we raise $5 million for a Tech quarterback? Paul just asked the question of the week. What question did Paul ask? What about the Shaq Jam shoes? Richie, hit me up. Rochelle, hit me up. Hit me up on the text line, 391-0788. We'll get you a shirt. Joining us now on the program, there he is. He is Damien Sordelett, the Virginia Tech football beat writer for the Roanoke Times here on a Wednesday. I know he's got a lot of things he's monitoring around the Tech football program. And what's up, DS? Good to see you, brother.
Morning. Has it been a week? It feels like it's been a lot longer than that since we last talked.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it, doesn't it? That's a good point. Well, first of all, congratulations to you. I know you didn't want me to bring it up, but you did say about, 4 to 6 weeks ago that, hey, what happens if it is James Franklin? When I made the prediction that it would be, you said, what happens if he brings Brent Pry back as his defensive coordinator? We were like, come on, you're just crazy. That's just crazy talk. Well, apparently here we are, although I know you guys haven't gotten official word. I know you'll write about it when you do. Is that kind of odd that we got all these national people reporting that, but yet Tech hasn't really said anything yet?
Well, Andy and I finally got word yesterday.
Okay, finally.
After
good.
Ty Howell was hired, I'm like, come on, give me something. And I finally got word and from enough people, and then when you factor in the comments from Drew Aller and Pierce Peterson and those guys, I'm like, all right, well, it's happened. So, yeah, I think with the Pry one, it's waiting for the contract details because you have the buyout.
Yeah, the buyout's got to be, yeah.
And I mean, it was more than $6 million. So if you could say, why don't we string this along over 6 years?
Yeah.
That
he
could
essentially
work.
won't be paid. He won't be paid for being the coordinator, basically, but he'll work through the buyout.
Yeah. I mean, being a coordinator making maybe $1 million a year is not a bad deal.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts about it? It's weird. It's weird. Let's just say it the way it is. It's strange. I know they have a relationship, but when you're going back, and it's not even going to work for Franklin. I'm not even talking about that. But when you're going back to the place that just fired you as a head coach, and you got all this animosity from Tech fan. I mean, we saw it here. I got dozens and dozens of text messages. People were just cursing his name, and now here he is coming back. I mean, what's your overall take on that? And can you put yourself in that position? People have been asking. I don't think I could. I know money's a factor, but he was making more money in the buyout. So what's your thoughts?
If James Franklin had taken any other job, Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, and Brent Pry went with him, people would say,
correct.
Makes sense.
100%.
Brent Pry is a great defensive coordinator.
Well,
he was a great defensive coordinator at Penn State. He was good.
He shared that honor. He never had it by himself.
Well, so the last 6 years, he didn't have the co-DC title with his name. He was strictly defensive coordinator. I know there were co-defensive coordinators with him.
Yeah.
A la Anthony Poindexter. But Brent Pry was the play caller.
Okay.
And they had top 15 defenses each of those years. They had good defenses at Vanderbilt.
But not at Virginia Tech, and those were his defenses.
No, well.
Sorry, but they were.
His defense in 2023 was not bad. I mean, they were top 20.
It was better. It was better, yeah. It was better.
They were good in 2024, but then he handed the reins over completely to Sam Seifkus this past season, and lack of turnovers, lack of ability to, outside of the South Carolina game, being able to finish in the backfield because South Carolina's offensive line turned out not to be very good. That was a reason why, there was a lot of optimism early on, but when you can't force turnovers and you're not getting teams behind the chains, it's not good. And that's why, when you look at Penn State's defenses under Brent Pry, pressures, hurries, sacks, TFLs, they were top 10 in the nation in those categories over Pry's 6 years as defensive coordinator. Not just Big Ten. They were top 10 in the nation. So I know everyone's going to say, oh, he had Micah Parsons, blah, blah, blah. Well, you had to have 10 other people on the field besides Micah Parsons to make that work. So the recruiting is going to be better. He just didn't have the money to spend here at Virginia Tech to bring in the athletes that they were bringing in at Penn State. I mean, he brought this up with us last offseason where you had a safety who asked for $400,000 to stay for NIL money. And he said, no, we can't afford that. We'll just replace you with getting 4 guys that collectively cost $400,000. Now James Franklin's got the NIL money to say, all right, well, we can keep you.
Do we know how much? Do you know how much? Has that been confirmed? Have you heard that?
Well, Jay Pearson on the Sons of Saturday podcast said they're going to have a $30 million roster. Okay. $15 million for NIL and $15 million in the football share of the rev sharing. So, which is about $15 million. So, $15 million NIL plus $15 million from rev sharing.
Yeah, I guess they'll split that between the high school kids they just brought in, and most of it will go for the portal that's coming up.
And I mean, Texas Tech spent $28 million for its roster this past offseason.
Yeah.
And you can see what it gets you in a edge rusher like David Bailey, who, I didn't have in my Heisman Trophy ballot. I had a linebacker from Texas Tech who I voted for. It didn't make the finalists. So, so they got the money to go get him. And I think that's why it'll be different this time.
Well, I know for Tech fan, that's what they're hoping. The offensive coordinator, here we go again with the tight ends coach. Now, he hasn't been a play caller coming in and taking over. That's kind of gotten, at best, mixed reviews from Tech fan. What's your thoughts about that? It kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought there'd be more of an established person in that role.
Well, I mean, they did interview John David Baker from East Carolina, and then he went to Ole Miss. So they did try to swing for the fences, but I think familiarity. I mean, when you bring in Ty Howell as your offensive coordinator, and then you bring in Danny O'Brien as your quarterbacks coach, you're bringing in familiarity. And the familiarity with O'Brien, being at Penn State the last few years, I think that's why, Franklin wanted to bring him. And I think Franklin's going for familiarity more so than splash hires right now. And, I'm okay with that because we saw what happened with the splash hires with Jim Knowles this past season as defensive coordinator. Didn't work out. Now, could work out, but Jim Knowles is going to be looking for a job because Matt Campbell's bringing in his defensive coordinator. We saw with the offensive coordinators, the last 2 that Franklin hired, he went outside his traditional tree. I don't know the names off the top of my head right now, but they haven't necessarily panned out. So I think if you go with familiarity, guys you trust, and I mean Franklin's an offensive guy, former quarterback, so that side of the ball he probably understands. He's going to let Brent Pry run the defense. So, and I think that's why we're waiting for Dan O'Connor to be named the linebackers coach. Sean Spencer, I've heard they're going for him, the Texas A&M defensive line coach. He worked with Pry and Franklin at Penn State. That would be a great hire, especially if you want to get a guy whose nickname is Coach Chaos. Now, secondary-wise, I haven't heard if it's Poindexter. Tim Banks is available if you want to go for him. So I think I'm going to be a little biased here. I play with the Penn State offense in college football 26, and you can spread things out and go vertical and all that stuff. It's not just now they do have the Wildcat package where you can get the tight end in there and throw it, and you do have 2 former quarterbacks who are tight ends on this roster in Jerica Hairston and Zeke Wimbush that you could potentially use. So, no, Wayne Fuente is not coming back. I know that was the scuttlebutt. Before they announced the Howl, before the Howl news got leaked out, Fuente's name was like, oh, we'll just bring back everyone.
That's funny. That's funny. By the way, Burnett mentioned just yesterday that they've closed down Merriman. Are they shutting off all information? He didn't say it, but you could tell he wasn't happy about it. So what have they done? Have they just completely shut everybody out and everything's just locked up now?
Well, they had been locking it up much tighter recently. Andy and I would have to tell you, we have to piggyback to get behind people to get in because it's almost impossible to get in there, especially on Wednesdays when we want to get there for the practice availability and afterwards. Like, there's nothing to let you in. You have to essentially piggyback your way in, or hopefully door to castle is unlocked and you can snake your way back through to the media room there. It's been locked up, and the one way to keep leaks and keep people from mingling around is to lock things up, and it's been locked up for a while, I can say. It's been tough to get in. So
interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Well, hopefully that will change. I mean, you're the one who writes about the program. Andy's the one who writes about the program. I would think you guys would be the guys that can be trusted more than anybody, right?
Yeah, but they don't know us yet.
They don't know you yet. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
true.
And
I guess they wanted to keep things under wraps. I guess Franklin's more of the reason why the national news got this first is because agents. So Brent Pry's not represented by Jimmy Sexton. So his agents told a different ESPN writer that he's taking the job as defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
If Pete Thamel's breaking the news on Ty Howell and Danny O'Brien, then they are probably represented by Jimmy Sexton.
Yeah, that's a Sexton thing. Yeah.
So those are when they get done. Like we noticed with the Franklin hire, I think it was within like 7 minutes of his e-signature being stamped onto the contract that Pete Thamel had the news that he was being.
Thamel's his main mouthpiece. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Let's get into some ACC stuff. Virginia fails to try to finish out what they had started. For a while there, I was thinking, no, this is Armageddon. David Teel said it, right? This is Armageddon. You know they're going to screw Miami over. That was the thought anyway. I had no confidence they were going to put Miami in over Notre Dame, and boom, sure enough, they did. What's your thought on this process, and then to see Notre Dame the way they've behaved after they're kind of the national laughingstock right now?
Notre Dame's gripe isn't with the ACC; it's with Alabama. Notre Dame should have been over Alabama
or ESPN, and and that whole
selection committee. That should be. This might be the catalyst to getting rid of the selection committee, because you wait till the last week to flip Notre Dame and Miami. Why wasn't it done beforehand?
100%. Yeah.
You do not drop Alabama for getting absolutely boat raced by Georgia. When Ohio State, BYU, UVA all dropped one spot for losing their conference championship game. SMU dropped, 2 spots last year for losing its conference championship game.
Right.
So you're saying, oh, we're not going to drop Alabama when they got dominated the line of scrimmage, a la what happened against Florida State. The offense does not look good, and it wasn't raining like it was in Tallahassee that day. The weather, it was pristine inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So why not penalize them? Because now, all of a sudden, if you penalize them and you drop them another spot, now you're comparing them to Notre Dame. Instead of having Miami and Notre Dame being compared, now you're comparing Notre Dame and Alabama. And that should be why Notre Dame would be in. That's Notre Dame's gripe. Did the committee get it right by getting Miami in? Yes. Is the ACC going to be the first Power 4 league to make a change to its tiebreaker policies? Yes. David Teel brought this up on the Tech Sideline podcast last week. All these power conferences have the same tiebreaker policies. Coincidentally, the ACC is going to be the first one to find out.
Yeah.
Now, someone brought this up on social media. This doesn't happen with the Big Ten and the Big 12 because they have 9-game league schedules. So you have fewer opportunities for teams to have the same record because you're playing an uneven number of games. So that's why I think going to 9 games, and the SEC is doing the same thing.
Yes.
That might help things out. But now I think you look at what the Mountain West did with its tiebreaker scenario, and you say, all right, we'll go to metrics. When head-to-head doesn't work, let's just go to metrics, determine this, make it easier for everyone to process versus, okay, what's your winning record? What's the winning percentage of the teams you played in league play? Because if Virginia happened to fall into a tie, I don't know if it would have worked out great for Virginia because Virginia didn't play a good schedule in league play. I mean,
no, they missed all the big boys for the most part. Yeah.
And then you look at Virginia Tech's ACC schedule, and Miami was very good. Georgia Tech was very good. NC State ended up getting 7-8 wins.
Well, another thing for Alabama, somebody sent me the thing. I had not seen it, but of course they get more views, more watchers of their games than anyone in the country. So that was all about ESPN, knowing that they saw it was averaging like 8.5 million viewers. They're by far and away the number one watch team over the past couple of years. So that played a lot into it. ESPN influenced this so badly with the SEC. And that whole thing is so compromised. To see Kirk Herbstreit just go on and on about how BYU has to be severely punished, and yet say Alabama shouldn't even be considered. What they end up with 60 total yards, whatever it was, and how embarrassing. I mean, the hypocrisy of Herbstreit and that network. ESPN has helped ruin college football. There is no question about it.
Yeah, when you're throwing around that much money, you think you have some leverage, and that's what the case is. I mean, the reason why Alabama has such good numbers is because it gets on ABC every week. It's not being put onto ESPN. It's not being put onto the SEC network, except when it's playing Eastern Illinois a couple weeks ago before the Iron Bowl. It's on ABC every week. And people are going to tune into ABC. The reason why Florida State in 2023 had such good television numbers, they were on ABC every week.
And the night game helps, right?
Right. Well, they're also the noon and 3:30 kicks are good for
3:30 kicks are really good. Yeah.
And I remember this because Virginia Tech played at Florida State in 2023, 3:30 kick, really good numbers. But since ESPN has the exclusive media rights to the SEC, they're going to prioritize SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I thought Virginia Tech would have been put like noon on ABC.
Well, something that Tebow just said, I've been wrestling with this because Tebow in chat said, I'm very happy that JMU's in, right? And Tulane, this isn't like basketball. It's going to go to 16 teams. I think this whole thing is going to be blown up now. I think it has to be. But what he says is true, and this is what I'm wrestling with. I'm very happy that JMU gets in. All right, they're going to go up to Oregon, and they're the biggest underdog of any of the opponent. And I get what probably is going to happen there, but they've won everything that they've won. They've everything's gravy going for it. And Tulane getting in as the G5, they both deserve to be in. But it's true, your best teams are not in this tournament. And that's the other side of the argument. As much as I'm happy that they get their shot, and it's not like college basketball because you have 68 teams. So the Cinderella story, you're not going to leave out good teams for these other squads because there's so many berths. Here you have a limited amount, and Texas and Notre Dame would have brought, or whoever would have brought a much better competitive nature to this playoff. And that's what he's right. And I think that's why you're going to see it go to at least 16 teams as early as next year. I really do.
Yeah. I'm not going to take the Paul Feinbaum argument that G5 should not be included in this.
Correct. Yeah, right. I don't either.
Because that would have done a disservice to Boise State last year when Boise State was one of the better teams in the nation.
Right.
And when you have a generational tailback in Ashton Genty, they just ran into a really good Penn State team.
Yeah, they're good. They were good. Boise State was good last year.
Yeah. I really hope what happened to Liberty a few years ago in the Fiesta Bowl to Oregon doesn't happen to James Madison.
I know. It's Oregon again. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And we've seen Ole Miss Tulane this year because they played, and Ole Miss won handedly in Oxford.
That's right.
But Tulane since then has won over Duke, ACC champion.
Yeah.
I told you last week I wanted chaos, and we got chaos.
We got it, man. We got it, and then some. Absolutely, we did. We did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know. It's interesting. It's interesting. And I know that's true, Roddy. I know it's 17 and 18 will complain, but at that point, whatever. If you're not in the Sweet 16, I mean, the only two schools that are really complaining are who right now? BYU. You could throw Texas in there, Notre Dame. That would get you to 15. Then you'd have one more spot for the ACC champion, regardless of who it is. Let's say you added 16, Texas, Notre Dame, BYU's in. Put Duke in there. Who cares? They won the conference title. I don't care. I don't know. We'll see.
At that point, at some point they're going to say, we'll just do automatic bids to all the conference champions and then figure out how many at-larges they want.
Correct.
And if you're the Big Ten, the SEC, you want 14 at-larges. Make this a 24-team field.
Yeah.
That's what they want because
that's what they want. That's right.
Then more than likely, if there's a selection committee, they're going to put in Big Ten and SEC over everyone else.
Yep.
If we have BCS numbers, the BCS numbers would have given Tulane and James Madison a fighting chance to get in. Same with North Texas. So, who knows? I don't want to eventually with all this talk about conference championship games, if Alabama had gotten left out, we might have seen the end of conference championship games.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is fine, because then if you're moving everything up a week, we would have had Army-Navy last weekend, and then we go into the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's a mess. It is an absolute mess. And what was it that, Mike Leach said about committees? It's so true, and it looks so bad right now. And ESPN looks so culpable in all this. It's ugly. It's really ugly, and it is all about money. That's all it is. It's all about money and these own selfish interests. Notre Dame next year gets to start being part of this thing because if they finish I didn't know that stipulation existed until Ross Dellinger tweeted it. Right, if they're in the top 12, doesn't matter what their schedule looks like. They're in the playoff, and they have this island that they live on, and somebody told them no, and here they are taking their ball and going home and threatening the ACC, and it's bizarre behavior by Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It really is.
And, I mean, I don't know if Notre Dame wants to leave the ACC, but if they do, they'll probably go to the Big East for all their sports. And then
they got to have somebody, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I said this yesterday. Yeah.
And if you go to the Big East, they don't have football. You're joining a pretty good basketball league, then you can essentially do what you want to do for scheduling purposes. You can do a scheduling alliance with the SEC, you can keep it with the ACC, you can go with Big Ten, or you can do something where you say, we'll play this many ACC teams a year, so Clemson, Miami will play you, SEC will play Georgia, will play Alabama, Big Ten will play Ohio State, Michigan. You pick those teams, boom. Now all of a sudden your schedule's good.
No, I'm with you. Well, David Mabry says something. Mike Burnop said this yesterday, right? Just have a Power 4 16 and have the G5 have their own tournament. I mean,
yeah, and there's been a talk of floating around a G5 poll. I think Hero Sports does it, but do you really want to separate these more?
I know. Exactly.
I mean, we're going to get to that soon if they get to the Super League. So 2030.
You're right.
Again, Whit Babcock called it.
It's coming anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully Virginia Tech, because of James Franklin, is going to be in position to be one of those teams that gets plucked to these Super Leagues.
Coach Elmation said you'll lose all conference names and it'll just be like the ESPN League and the Fox League, kind of like the AFC and the NFC. 32 teams in each. That makes a lot of sense. I can see that happening. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. That very well could happen, and then the rest of it gets kind of parsed. And
yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So what do you got planned? What do you got? Where do you work on? You waiting? I know you're waiting to write Vince coordinator story. What you got coming out?
No, I just brought up a name about who was right about 2030 being an inflection point for college sports during his Board of Visitors presentation.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was kind of known, though. It's not like that was his thought.
Right, but he spelled it out.
Yeah.
He spelled it out in layman's terms for them. So it's not like he's talking all sports stuff and then all of a sudden and you see these Board of Visitors going like right over their heads.
That's usually the way it goes with the Board of Visitors.
He was speaking in money and he was speaking in here's the impact. And I think that's what got their attention.
Yeah. Well, it's ugly. Fans are going to keep watching. That's why ultimately they don't care. ESPN has no self-awareness or no care because people are going to tune into all their networks to watch these games, and they're going to continue to rake in money, and they're just going to let all these complaints fall on deaf ears because they are in control of it, and it's just the way it is. Fox as well. So we'll see. Yeah. It's funny how Notre Dame got left out and they're on NBC. I don't think that's a coincidence either. Who are the main power brokers? The SEC and the Big Ten. Who owns the rights to the SEC and the Big Ten? ESPN, or Disney and Fox. There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
Well, Fox doesn't have sole ownership of the Big Ten when it comes to media rights. CBS and NBC.
Yeah,
the big deal is the college football playoff is exclusive to ESPN.
Right.
And they just happen to
sublet
a couple games to TNT.
Yeah.
So,
but Fox has the biggest contract. They're the main rights holder.
They get the noon game for a reason because that does numbers.
Exactly. 100%. Well, good stuff, brother. I hope you get access soon, you and Andy.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this works out. But again, Franklin runs a tight ship, as someone mentioned in the chat. It'll take time for him to get to know us. Hopefully, with Pry being there, he can say, all right, these are good dudes. Just if they need info, let's give it to them.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, Pry can be a mouthpiece. He always came on the old radio show too. But yeah, he was great. He was great. Yeah, good dude.
Yeah. And,
all right, bro. Yeah, go ahead, man.
And he didn't have to move. Didn't have to move either. So
that's true. Family gets to stay.
he was able to fill in Franklin on the background of Virginia Tech, the ins and outs of the university, all that stuff. Now, when he gets a chance, he can tell him about how the media treats him.
Yeah.
So that should help.
That should help. We hope so. Yeah. All right, man. Have a great rest of the week, and congrats again on your Pride prediction. Everybody's asking you for lottery numbers.
I don't gamble, so I don't have any lottery numbers for you guys. If I ever played them, I have no clue. I know. Two of the three people I voted for Heisman weren't even finalists. So apparently I'm wrong on a few things.
Well, Mendoza's got to win it now, right? I mean, come on. You just beat the Ohio State quarterback like a
He's
drum.
got to. He wasn't my number one. When they release the outcome Saturday, I will publish.
No, good. I won't put you on the spot then.
We have to wait till they release everything, and then we can say, all right, here's how I voted. And I'll be doing that Saturday night. So,
all right. Good.
And there, you might have some questions about who I voted for, but I have a answer for it.
Okay. All right. That'll be great. That'll be good, man. That'd be a good lead in. So I won't ask you now. I won't put you on the spot now.
No. I can just tell you 2 of the 3 I voted for are not going to New York.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be good. Now your reasoning will be good. I think it'll be good. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And now I want to know.
Yeah, you have a few Heisman Trophy voters here on the show. I think Teel votes and Andy votes.
Teal's a voter too. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. You guys already know who's going to win. All right.
Well, we don't know who's going to win. We just know who we voted for.
Right. Yeah. All right, brother. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk again next week. All right, man. Take care. Stay safe. All right, man. There you go. Great stuff as always from Damien. Damien's great. Every time Rick slams it. Well, doesn't ESPN deserve it? Does anybody want to defend them? Are there any more masks being worn? Are there anybody who actually thinks they're good for college football? I mean, seriously. Do they do anything good other than make us watch their networks because they're the only ones that have the rights for certain games? Is there anything positive that comes out of there with them? Disney. Let's make it Disney. That's what this is all about. It's Disney. It destroys every IP they touch. They make it very easy. They destroy every IP that they have touched. You name it. They've destroyed it. Well, Morris, apparently from the pictures you were showing me yesterday about your pending New Year's Eve party, you don't need any help being drunk. Yeah, I'm with you. Prometheus. Yeah, Saban has really just completely sold out, man. That whole Kiffin, it's sad. Dude's got all the money in the world. God almighty. Yeah. It's so bad. And then he tries to act like he's, coming up with this profound stuff when he's knocking the system, and he's all part of it. Yeah, TLB, I would say that if there's anyone who, has a little toddy in the morning, it might be Morris. I mean, he's at the Palm Coast. He's watching us right now on his laptop. He's got his beach chair out facing the sunrise over the ocean. Why wouldn't you have a cooler? I mean, I would. Ryan Pride, the attorney Ryan Pride, the sponsor of our BDST fan question of the week. More than Disney, it's private equity. Yeah, it's Vanguard. Correct. It's BlackRock and Vanguard. They destroy most restaurants, and now college sports are going for the money. Correct. Yeah, let's go a little deeper. It's those two, BlackRock and Vanguard, who, by the way, happens to control everything Disney does. So, yeah, you got to go a little higher up the chain. It's like watching one of those mystery suspense fillers, and you think that the police chief or the head of the government is a good guy. Then all of a sudden you find out he was the one pushing all the buttons. Morris says, Saban hard to listen to. Loves himself. Yeah. Yeah, he does. They all do. They all share the same agent, too. So when they were on there bantering for Kiffin, they all have the same agent. It's just, if you don't have an agent and you need to raise some money, check out Bob Christ and the Ready Set Fund. Bob Christ, the number 11 at gmail.com. Great ways to raise money for your high school team, whatever it might be. They have text messages ready to go. Our text line is always popping. By the way, you never bother me throughout the days and weeks. I get lots and lots of text messages. The Professional Door Incorporated text line, boom, 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 391-0788. Thank you so much, Travis, and everybody up there. It's great, great company. Travis, I'm going to get you your T-shirt, hopefully this week. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST on YouTube. I've been with them for 35 years. I can't say enough nice things about them. They've been terrific for me. Love them. We just mentioned Ryan Pride, the attorney, trust and estate planning expert. 701 West Main Street, sponsored by BDST Fan Question of the Week. Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 540-553-2971. I can't recommend anybody anymore at what they do than Travis and Charles, man. I'm telling you, go. Going to talk to Tim Miller today. Hopefully we'll have somebody on from Pulaski County Sports Entertainment tomorrow. They are the presenting sponsor of this program. They are awesome. They are the absolute best. Top Shelf Apparel, thanks to Brandon. Our T-shirts, they're great. If you want one, hit me up. Haven't shown them in a while. They're well made. Everybody's telling me how comfortable they are, and they love wearing them because of that. And they made them so well. $20 if I can get them to you locally. I won't charge any more than $30. I hate shipping charges. Hate it. Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. It's been the place to go for manufactured home parts, windows, doors, and plumbing. All the way since 1997, 540-381-8011 is how you hit them up. And the NRB Super Bowl, Sarah Williams is the bowler of the month. She used her unique style to produce games of 271 and 288. So impressive. I wish I were better at it because I really, really like bowling. I like the bowling alley environment, man. I just love it. Absolutely love it. I wish I were better at it. Tebow, BlackRock, and Vanguard owned everything. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Could not agree more. Those two entities are trying to completely change everything about the inner workings of the United States of America with their agenda. I know we're getting into some heavy topics, but that's 100% accurate. It's kind of frightening, to be honest. If you do your research, you're going to be scared to death and think, how in the world did a place like BlackRock and Vanguard both rise to the power they have? And the fact that people have just allowed it. Saban is an ESPN pawn. Yeah. Yeah, he has. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So we'll see. We'll see. Ugly stuff, though. The underworkings of things like that are very ugly. Very ugly. It's unfortunate, but it's where we are. David Teel, the Hall of Famer, going to join us here. We'll talk about all these things and what he thinks of the staff makeup so far, and got to talk about the playoff and UVA and Miami getting in and all these things. But I think, I mentioned it to Damien. Tebow hit on it. Tebow, I mentioned you a lot today, but I've been torn. The G5s need to be in. It's not the basketball tournament, but I think they should be in. I don't think you can deny what potentially could be a story. Like, it's going to be less likely in football than what we see in the NCAA tournament. I understand that, and I know it's apples and oranges, right? It's two different things. But you never know, right? And for JMU and what those kids have accomplished, and for Tulane, and before it was Liberty, whoever has gotten in, they have to stay part of it. That's why I think the next natural progression will be 16 teams. Because we laid it out, right? And Rodney brought it up. There's always going to be somebody complaining. But, okay, if you go to 16, you can leave those two representatives in, and then you add 4 teams. Well, who would the 4 teams be, right? Notre Dame, Texas, BYU, and then don't you have to take the ACC champion, regardless of where they're ranking? And then there's your 16. And I don't think anybody be complaining about this whole tournament. I mean, if the FCS can do this every year and get it exactly right, well, or UVA, yeah. But I think what you do then you'd have to look at who's higher ranked. Miami was higher ranked than UVA, so they should be in. People know Miami was, the best team in that league. But if you win the conference title game, regardless of who you are, if they fix the tiebreaker, you won't have to worry about a 5-loss team winning it again. Then it kind of falls in line, right? Oh, Vanderbilt too. Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. Forgot about Vanderbilt. Nah, you're right, Rodney. You got me, man. I think Vanderbilt should be in. But Texas beat Vandy, right? I know. Well, I'm very biased because everybody knows Diego Pavia is my favorite player. So I would love to see him in this playoff format. I would. So you would have a 17th complaining. True. But I think that would be, it would fall on more deaf ears if you're the 17th team as opposed to the 13th team. All right. But in any event, it'll go to 16, I think, next year. Like, I don't think you're going to see all this hold up. There's just too much blowback. Notre Dame getting involved like they have. But the bottom line is Notre Dame can't afford to threaten the ACC and leave because the ACC does a hell of a lot for Notre Dame. The ACC fills out their schedule on all their Olympic sports. They play for conference championships because of the ACC and every other sport but football. How are you going to tell these other kids and stay out of legal trouble by all of a sudden taking away that conference affiliation to win a title? The ACC provides one heck of a service for Notre Dame. Those kids are all trying to win ACC titles in other sports, in all the other sports, right? Every one of them. So all these things that Bavackel was up there saying and irreparable damage, and they're starting a process to look into, I mean, okay, what are you going to do? What if you can't join a conference? What if you can't find another sub-affiliation? What are you going to do about these teams? What are you going to tell those kids and those boosters? Title IX. What are you going to say? What are you going to say to them, Notre Dame? Seriously. You're not going to be able to do it. Because then all of a sudden your kids are just independent in all sports and they're not playing for anything. And you're going to lose a lot of money. Right? So now all you have to do next year is finish in the top 12 and, you're going to be included, which just seems ridiculous to me that, again, they don't have to be part of a conference, yet that is – I had to read that tweet 3 or 4 times and then ask some people, is this accurate? They're like, yeah. And everybody else in all the other leagues signed off on it. J.D. Byers comes up here in about 15 minutes, by the way. Joining us now, he's the multiple Hall of Famer, the best in the business, David Teel. David, how are you, my friend? Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
Well, how you doing, man? A lot to talk about. We'll get into the tech stuff, but the ACC, Virginia, couldn't get it done, couldn't finish off the great year. Credit to Duke. They adjusted, got it done. Just some of your thoughts on that, and then subsequently Miami getting into the tournament.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. Rick.
I know.
It was clearly not Virginia's best effort of the season, never led in the game, and Duke was seemingly in control until it wasn't, and Virginia stormed from behind, and to his credit, goes 96 yards in about a minute 20 to force overtime, and Chandler Morris and UVA were shredding the Blue Devils, and you thought, oh boy, Virginia's about to become the first team in college football history to win 4 overtime games in a single season.
Right.
But the odds caught up with them. And to me, the biggest play of the game, and 2 things happened on it. Number one, it's 4th and goal from the 2 for Duke in overtime. And Darian Menso rolls right and finds his tight end. But then there's the roughing the passer.
Yeah.
And I've never seen this transpire in overtime before, where a score by the team that has possession first includes a defensive penalty that then moves the offense back on its overtime.
Right.
Possession. So instead of being at the 25, UVA's at the 40. And it seemed like the Cavaliers, particularly OC Des Kitchens panicked.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
oh my gosh, we got to do something. We can't just run our normal offense. But
It really did.
Yes, you can run your normal offense because there's no clock constraints. All you got to do is churn out first downs. And they unwrap that trick play right out of the gate. And Chandler Morris throws a pick, and that's it. It was just such a sudden, jarring end to a wild game that by that point, everyone was watching. Everyone in college football, eyes peeled on that game because the Big Ten contest was over. It was the only game on, and so much hinged on it. And you don't think the folks in Harrisonburg were watching?
Right. Well, and along those lines, thrilled to death that Matt Roan and company are in your alma mater. It's an amazing journey that they've had. I'm all for the G5s getting in. We know that doesn't mean that necessarily the best teams in the country are in. Your thoughts on that, and then Notre Dame and this whole bizarre this reaction that Bavak was having and the things he's saying about the ACC. It's entertaining, but it's also just head scratching.
A lot of places to go here, Rick.
I know.
First of all, under the rules of engagement, James Madison belongs in the playoff.
Right.
The Dukes are clearly among the 5 best conference champions. Manny Diaz's protest notwithstanding. Yes, Duke is the ACC champion power league, but Duke is 8-5. Duke is the first 5-loss team to win the ACC since Wake Forest in 1970.
Whew.
5-loss teams don't win conference championships to begin with. Number 2, they do not belong in a 12-team playoff. You know, Duke wants to say, well, we won 7 Power 4 games and James Madison won none. Okay, fine. Duke was 0-2 against the group of 5. James Madison is 12-0 against the group of 5. And I've seen both teams in person multiple times. James Madison is better than Duke. I'm just telling you. They played on a neutral field. I would pick James Madison. That has nothing to do with the diploma that hangs up in my office. So JMU belongs. And if Virginia had played Miami in the ACC championship game, then James Madison wouldn't be in. James Madison would have been the second G5 team in the rankings behind Tulane, and the ACC champion would have qualified, and Notre Dame would be in. Now, for Notre Dame's temper tantrum, spare us.
Right.
Really. Pete Bavakwa expected the ACC not to lobby for Miami.
Right.
And of course, the ACC was going to compare Miami and Notre Dame because it was Notre Dame standing between Miami and the field. And oh, by the way, the Hurricanes beat the Fighting Irish.
That's right.
So, you know, Pete Bavakwa can whine all he wants. But I think as everyone has seen, it has resoundingly fallen flat. No one except the most diehard leprechaun is buying a word that Pete Bavakwa is saying.
Well, and given all this, what kind of changes do you think we'll see going forward? Is it going to expand again? Is more money to be made? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're going to. Now, whether they can get it done for 2026 is another story. But playoff expansion was coming before this. And this particular bracket just cements it. The only question is when the expansion goes into effect and what the format will be. Nearly everyone, meaning except the Big Ten and Tony Petitti favors a 16-team playoff with the 5 highest rated conference champions and 11 at-large bids, which would have produced essentially the same field, just +4 this year. James Madison still would have been, with this season's results, still a part of a 16-team playoff.
Right.
Just instead of playing a first-round game at Oregon, the Dukes would have been playing a first-round game at, how juicy would this have been, at Indiana.
Oh, man.
in the 116 game.
Along those lines, have you seen anything as miraculous as what he is doing, by the way? Talking about Curt Cignetti, I can't remember anything like this from anything that's happened in college football for a program as bad as Indiana has been traditionally, and what he has done in 2 years. It's unbelievable. It's mind-blowing. Congratulations to him. It's crazy.
Rick, there's a reason you can't remember anything like this, right? Because nothing like this has ever happened.
That's right.
And
That's
I'm going back before both of us were born. No, nothing remotely like this has happened. Bill Snyder at Kansas State, George Welsh at Virginia, both, built championship caliber programs from scratch. But what Curt Cignetti has done, I mean, this is national championship caliber. I mean, he just beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. And it wasn't some fluke. I mean,
no,
they are 13-0. They have arguably the 2 best wins of the college football season. They won at Oregon, and they beat the reigning undefeated national champion on a neutral field. Who's got better wins? Maybe Alabama at Georgia during the regular season, but otherwise Indiana has the 2 best wins in the regular season.
No question. No question. Well, listen, finally, let me ask you about Brent Pry coming back. It's people have said the right thing. If James Franklin ended up in another school when he hired Brent Pry, we'd be like, oh, okay. The fact that he's coming back to the school that fired him as a head coach, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to him yet or not, but what are some of your initial thoughts over that announcement?
Not surprised. I mean, we all saw how James Franklin talked about Coach Pry at his introductory news conference. And the relationship runs deep, decades long, and it was just going to be, as James Franklin told us that day, Brent Pry and his family have to decide what's best for them. So I think the invitation was clear. It was just a matter of Coach Pry and Amy and the family wanted to do this, and they have chosen to. And I think it's got a chance to work.
I know they've closed down Merriman. Mike Burnett brought that up yesterday. They've kind of closed it off, which is interesting. Any ideas about current staff members? I know they had their meeting with the staff. Have you heard any rumblings about guys who could be retained, or will there be none?
Oh, I think Vontel Mines is going to stay as well in some capacity. He's the receivers coach now. I imagine he will stay in that role. Could he coach another position? Perhaps. I wonder about Elijah Brooks at running back. Gosh, they've been so good there since he arrived. And if you retain Elijah Brooks, chances are Marcellus Hawkins and Jeffrey Overton Jr. stick around. And those are 2 pieces that if I'm James Franklin, I would like to have for next season. So those would be the 2 that I would say are most likely.
Well, are you going to Army Navy? I thought about you this weekend and how much you appreciate that environment and that atmosphere.
No, I will be taking it in like the rest of the country from home, even though it's being staged in my home. of Baltimore.
Yeah.
I have friends who will be there, but we have some family obligations here Saturday night, and so I'll be sitting on the couch, thinking of my dad, and maybe shedding a tear or two.
Absolutely, brother. Well, I knew you enjoy. I always think about you tied into that game, and the great John Feinstein book that came out so many years ago kind of got me even more interested in the rivalry. I'll be watching too. We all be watching, right? It represents so much more. It's the perfect football game, right? In my opinion.
And two good teams this year.
Two good teams.
Yeah. Both are bowl eligible. It's not as good as last year now, when both teams were really in the chase for. And Army won the American championship last year.
That's right. That's right.
But the winner of this game will take home the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, which, if you talk to a football player at any of the academies, Army, Air Force, Navy, they will tell you that before a conference championship game, before anything else, the goal is the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
That's right. That's
period.
Right.
Full stop.
It's the best rivalry in the country, although they're all on the same team. Does that make sense?
Yes. No, it's 100%. And for those who have never been or seen it, the spectacle is the pageantry of it is unmatched. And to watch the Corps of Cadets and the Brigade of Midshipmen march onto the field before the game and then take their places in the respective corners of the stadium. And then after the game, when the players from both teams go to those corners and the Army hymn and Navy blue and gold are played and everyone is at rapt attention, it is awesome.
It does. I get chills just hearing you describe it, and I'll get chills again on Saturday when they show it all. It'll be the same thing. Well, enjoy, my friend. I know you will. Thanks as always for stopping by, and we'll talk again next week. We'll see what materializes next week with Tech and other places. So we'll see.
Sounds great, Rick. Thanks, man.
All right, brother. Thanks, brother. Take care, man. Yep. Stay safe. There you go. Great stuff from David Teel. As always, great stuff from David Teel. Yes, he was TLB. We'll talk more about that with David next week. He went to I think it was the Air Force Navy game earlier this year. All right, we're keeping it rolling here. We mentioned, by the way, thanks to Kion Brown for joining us. Great as always. Damien Sordelett, David Teel, and this next gentleman right there, he's one of the many people responsible. He's got this Virginia Tech basketball program looking really strong early. His name's J.D. Byers, assistant coach. Coach, how are you? Good morning, brother.
Good morning. Good morning. Doing great. You mentioned my boy Kion. I missed that guy. So that's neat that you had him on today.
Yeah, he talked about you saving his life is what he said, when he came out and what happened. And, he explained the clearinghouse thing and you were like, that's okay. You know what? You're coming to me to Radford, right? What was it about KB? I know he blew up at that tournament and the way you stuck with him has stayed with him his whole life, man. So,
yeah, no, I just believed in him, believed in his character. I mean, I think that's a huge part of recruiting is, believing in the person. Knew that he wanted to be at Radford, and that means a lot as well. But just the way that I've kind of been throughout my career, when I believe in someone, I believe in them 1,000%. And so I believed in Kion, and so did Coach Jones, and it worked out very well. And obviously, you can see he's an awesome young man, and he's doing great. He's a great father, and I'm super proud of him.
Well, and think about your influence, Coach, on these young men as people. When we sat down with Javante and when he called me, he said, okay, so this is who I want to be on my Hall of Fame video. Guess whose name he said first? J.D. Byers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it's special, but it's a responsibility that none of us in this profession should take lightly. Whether things have changed. Let's bottom line, whether you have these guys for 9 months or 4 years, which is going to be rare. You have a chance to impact their life. You have a chance to be in it for a long time if they want you to be. And, I think we're failing a huge responsibility that we have if we're not committed to being in for the long haul. And even now when guys leave, I don't feel any type of way. I just want them to be successful, and I want them to be good citizens and hopefully make our world a little bit better. And, that sometimes gets missed in all of this, but that's still the goal.
JD Byers joining us on the program, Virginia Tech men's basketball assistant coach. The Hokies are you've been having to adjust as well. Talk about going through the non-conference, how important it is. Of course, Toby's been gone for a while now. You guys, you're going to be getting him back at some point, but talk about what this can do for a team coach. I think about that because these guys are learning to win, fight through this adversity, and you're not at full strength. So you're building even something more on the layers that were already attached to what you hope to accomplish in the non-conference.
Yeah, sometimes your hand gets forced. And in this case, certainly Toby cleans up a lot of things for us, rebounding wise, at the rim. And, he's getting better and better. So it hurts to not have him. But, moving Amani over and playing Antonio Dorn and Christian Gerdak more at the 5, it's going to give us more depth. And we all know in the league, you have plenty of height. So to be able to play bigger at times, I think will be a benefit. And obviously Amani is just such a good basketball player. You can put him out there anywhere and he can make it happen. But it's been cool to watch Antonio and Christian grow over the course of the last couple weeks. And, having more depth is never a bad thing.
No, not at all. It just gives you and Coach Young so many more options to look at guys and to practice a different way, can't you, when you've got guys you can put in those situations on the floor when nobody's watching.
Sure, absolutely. And, it does change how we play a little bit. But, at the end of the day, it's still about playing the game the right way. Coach is huge on that. He always has been, sharing the ball. And, Amani does that. He's a great connector. And obviously we're getting some great guard play. So the combination has been good. And the challenge is for us to keep getting better and hold the line until Toby can get back in the lineup.
Are things progressing to your satisfaction that he's doing all the things to get better? I know you don't want to rush anybody back out ever when they're dealing with that type of injury. So
yeah, when you're dealing with a foot, you got to be careful. And, he has a lot of basketball left ahead of him. And I respect that a lot about Coach. And obviously our training staff, our doctors, they're not going to rush him back as much as he wants to get back and get going. And we want him back. But, his long-term career is still number one. But he'll be back. He's doing everything that he needs to do. He's still getting some work in the weight room and some form shooting and ball handling. So he's still working, and he'll be back sooner rather than later.
What's been your impression so far? I know it's positive, but how's the development of Nicholas going? I mean, he's such a high-profile recruit coming from Greece, coming to Virginia Tech here, American basketball thrown at him. What's been your impression with his growth, not only on the floor, but how he's adapting to everything here in the New River Valley?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's adapted very well to just the culture. The guys love him. He gets along really well with them. I mean, a guy that passes the ball like that, it's not hard to get along with him. It's not like he's a selfish basketball player. I think he's adjusted to our game pretty well. The physicality is different, but he's adjusted to that. He sees tons of different coverages, and he's figuring those out. But I think the main thing for him is the guy came over here with really high expectations, and we're not hiding from the fact that he's on draft boards, and he's not just at the end of the second round. He's a guy that people are talking about as a potential lottery pick. Yeah. And with that comes a lot of pressure. And I think some days he puts a lot of pressure on himself. We just want him to be him and play the game. And I think the way he plays the game, a lot of people that's going to attract a lot of people. A lot of people are going to want that in their organization. So, we just want him to be him, and everybody else wants him to just have fun. And I think he's figuring that out.
Coach, when you're at this part now, you got a lot of home games coming up, which is great. You've earned it. You guys have been all over the place and going to the Bahamas. What are some of the things you look to do now? I know it goes in progression. We're out of November. We're into December. I can remember your time with Coach Jones here at Radford, how you guys took it by month. What are some of the things now? Obviously, like we just talked about with Toby not being available now, but what's some of the things you're looking now to hone up to kind of secure every day in practice as you move forward with the games remaining before ACC play?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the season is certainly broken up into parts, and November and early December, especially with the way our schedule is. You come out of your MTE in the Bahamas, and you have the ACC Challenge right away. So it's a race to the second week of December, and now you have to kind of evaluate where you are, figure out what's the next steps, because everybody gets the scouting report now. So now you have to start to adjust. You have to start to add layers to your sets. You have to start to change your actions, and you see what your guys are really good at when the bullets are flying. So we're certainly looking ahead, not ahead from the opponents that we have right now, but we're starting to add things and to put things in to be prepared for ACC play. And then I think defensively, you kind of know your warts at this point, and so just adjusting there and making sure that you're not having slippage, because you start putting your defense in June. Now it's December, so you have to tighten some things up. So just continue to improve in those areas and be ready to add things, because once you hit ACC play, it's game, practice, game. Like there's no real break. And every team you play is good. Every team has a different challenge that you have to prepare for. So you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself, because at the end of the day, it is much about Virginia Tech as it is about the opponent. You have to make sure that your stuff is tight.
JD Byers joining us on the program, Virginia Tech men's basketball assistant coach. We had Mike Young on the program, and he made a very poignant statement. This was before really, it was after one or two games, but he said, every game's an opportunity. We're not just trying to, improve. We are, but our goal is to win, because these games you win in November, December, come back in March. And I thought the mission was there early. And I think, Coach, the two wins you have, you go up in that Providence game up in Uncasville, and then to go down to South Carolina and win a road game like that at OT, I think those type of wins are just gigantic. Can you talk about what it says about this team? One, when you had a full complement of your team, one without.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you really don't know your team until you get under some extreme adversity. And those were two very different games, but very challenging. So I think we learned a lot about our team. I think we learned that we could go into a hostile environment, because Uncasville was a road game. That was a Providence home game. But we battled, and we found a way in two different ways. One game where we scored the ball really easily. Another game where we had to figure some things out as we went along. But I think those were good resume builders. We know we have some really challenging places to play in the ACC. So I think we found out a lot about our team, and the goal is to win. Yeah, there is no moral victories and anything, and that's why you play a challenging, schedule. I think even the games in the Bahamas, Colorado State is really good. I think really underrated. St. Mary's is good every single year, and physical and tough, and beat us up to the point that I think game 3 against VCU, we were staggering a little bit, and they took advantage of it. But you were watching those guys grow, and they're going to have a chance to win the A-10. So we haven't played any cupcakes, and I think there was a purpose behind that to help get us ready as we make a run in March.
Well, Coach, before we let you go, so people know, Coach Byers was here for many years with Coach Jones at Radford University. Got to know the New River Valley. Was up at Penn State, Happy Valley. Lots of Penn State, Virginia Tech connections seems to always happen one way or the other. You came back to Blacksburg, of course. Your wife, Marcy's the head volleyball coach, your beautiful family. Talk about you. You were up at Penn State. You're in Blacksburg. James Franklin's here now. Brett Pry was there. Can you compare and contrast those two places? I know there's a lot of similarities with Happy Valley and Blacksburg.
Sure. No, it's going to be hard for me to compare too much, because I was literally on campus for 5 days. So it was a crazy process, and ran into Coach Franklin at a little diner. We had an official visit that first week I was up there. And so I got a chance to meet him, and I saw him in the locker room. The game, they introduced him at halftime. And I said, Coach, you're not going to remember me, but I met you for about 2 seconds in Happy Valley. And he started laughing. But they are very similar settings, both very passionate about their athletics, their football, their basketball. So when I had been here and obviously been on campus at Virginia Tech, going up there for a short amount of time, there's a lot of similarities. I think Coach Franklin will be able to adapt quickly, because he's been at Penn State for 12 years. I think he'll do awesome. But both amazing places, and both places right now that are dear to my heart. So I hope that both basketball programs can win a lot of games.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know you're excited to be back in this area, and it's great. How's the family doing, by the way? I can't believe I see pictures of your kids. I can't believe your oldest daughter. I cannot believe how tall she is.
Yeah, no, it goes quick as you know very well. Cam will turn 7 in March. Sky's getting ready to turn 3 in a couple days. I'm getting ready to put them in the car and take them to school. And every day's a unique opportunity to learn something new that they're experiencing. So I've enjoyed it a lot. I've been lucky to be back here with them and with Marcy, but I enjoy each day. They keep me on my toes.
You're coaching the team, you're coaching the family. Same way, right? You just got to keep that same mentality.
No question. No, it's very similar. You're sure right about that.
Hey, Keon's mom chimed in, by the way. Sordelett says, good morning. She's both of my sons on the show today. So
man, she's the absolute best. I love that lady, and she's so good to me. When you get parents like Sharnessa or parents and aunts like Kim Mason, Javante's aunt, and they allow you to coach their son and know that you're going to be fair to them. You're going to be hard on them, but allow you to coach them and be tough and hold them accountable. It makes a huge difference. Yep. And I wish they'd write a playbook for it, and a lot of parents would read it, because those guys grew a lot in college because they allowed me and the staff to really coach them and hold them accountable even off the court. So she's the best. I love her. I miss her. Hopefully run into her sometime when I get up to Richmond.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, imagine what a concept of parents trusting these college coaches. Just let them do their job. Imagine.
Yeah, it would be, I'm not going to get on my soapbox this morning.
I know.
It would help a lot, and it would help the kid more than anyone else.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, listen, man, I know you got to get out the door. Thanks so much for hopping on, man. It's been too long. I meant to have you on earlier, so my apologies for that. It's always great to visit with you, man. I'm so happy for your success. Miss you down at Radford. So happy for you in Blacksburg, man. And keep it going. I know you guys will. And finish off December well. Maybe we'll do this again once we flip over the calendar.
No, that'd be awesome. Always enjoy being on the show, and have a great holiday.
All right, brother. Take care, man. Stay safe.
All right, later.
There you go. J.D. Byers, assistant coach at Virginia Tech. Great job. Great job. Love J.D. Great coach. Going to be a head coach very soon. Very, very soon. And you got to love the energy there around that program. It's very special place. Thanks again to all of our sponsors, the Ready Set Fund, Professional Door Incorporated. We got time. I'm not signing off. I just want to make sure I get all this in. We got 20 more minutes. Hit us up on the Professional Door Incorporated text line. Hit us up on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. National Bank member FDIC, the attorney Ryan Pride in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning, Charles Lee and Little River Heating and Air, Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program, National Bank member FDIC, Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, and of course, Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, Harvey's GM, Top Shelf Apparel in Pulaski, and the Ready Set Fund. All you folks. Hit us up. What are your thoughts about Coach Byers? Sharnessa, thanks for stopping by. It's great. And what he said there is very poignant too, right? It sounds simple, but parents allowing coaches to do their job. I think that's what's happened with a lot of our high school programs that are no longer successful. Too much environmental control outside of it that all it does is do damage. And when you have a collegiate, you have a guy who's an assistant coach at a Power 4 school, a tech team that's going to be in the NCAA tournament, and you still have to deal with that. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I know when I played, and by the way, Tebow, I had no idea you were in the Navy for 10 years. So I want to echo, thank you. Thanks for your service. That's awesome. So that game takes a lot of special place to you too, doesn't it? The Army-Navy game. I love the Army-Navy game. Absolutely love it. And I'll watch it. It's always the one game that I will watch, and I don't really pay attention to any of the records or any of that stuff. it's not about that. It's about so much more. And the football games are usually close. If you haven't read Civil War, the John Feinstein book, you need to. God rest his soul, by the way. We miss John. John, got to know him. He was doing games for Liberty the last couple of years. Always came on the radio show, and he passed away. Great author, just a great author. We miss him. Good guy, and he was a great writer. And A Civil War is a great book. I have it. I'm fortunate to have it. I've read it a couple times. Takes you really inside that rivalry in that game. Hey, Paul, what's going on, brother? Yeah, it is. It's a great book. It's a great book. He wrote Season on the Brink. Remember, that was kind of a groundbreaking book. Easy for me to say. A groundbreaking book about Indiana and Bobby Knight. And that is A Civil War is a great. He just spent time at that game and that rivalry writing about it. Tebow says JD Byers is the kind of guy you want to play for. Yeah, he's going to be a head coach. Mike Young won't keep him too much longer. He's going to be a head coach. Morris, hey, there you go. We got a couple Navy vets in chat. That's why chat's so strong. We got Navy. We got people who serve, of course. TLB says, wonder if Reddy's had fun to create a campaign to underwrite a Creed cam. Maybe so. Maybe so. You could put a little strap or a little collar and just have it. Wouldn't you like to see that when you have a dog or a cat when they go out in the wild? Just to see what they come up with. Yes, Wayne. Mike Young picks great assistants. JD's just a hell of a coach. He's a great guy. And when you hear the testimony, Kion, what did he say about him? Keon's mom chimes in, the influence he's had. Javonte Green, who's starting for the Detroit Pistons in his 7th NBA year. First guy. He wants on his video. Got to have JD. Can you call JD? I'll reach out to him. Can you make sure? Yeah, sure. And when you have that kind of impact on people, that's what it's all about. And you can tell by just listening to Coach Byers. I mean, it's all about relationships and genuineness. Did you notice that? I think he's helped a lot of that with Mike Young. Hey, Chris. Oh, my goodness. We got Navy people all over the place. Chris is a Navy guy. This is awesome. Very cool. Thank you as well, Chris. All three of you. That's so cool, man. So I'm guessing that I better not pick Army this weekend. Let's go Navy. Then Army guys are going to say, what about Army? Somebody's asking me on the text line for the spread. I don't know. Let's look. The Army-Navy spread, it's Navy by 6. Navy's 9-2. Army 6-5. Navy's had a really, really good season. They just beat Memphis. So they lost at Notre Dame. Okay. And they lost to North Texas. Okay. That's a tough place to win. They had wins over Air Force. They beat Temple, FAU, Rice, UAB, Tulsa. Army 6-5. Good stuff. Good stuff. Morris says his son went to West Point, didn't last long. Not their traditional college experience. No. And we play VMI, we being Radford University, and I always have a lot of respect for those kids. I wish that was a year in and year out series. I don't know why it's not. They used to be in the Big South for a few years. But you hear about the rat line, and basketball is like, oh, by the way, if you have time, you get done with everything. It's basketball practice time. Or football practice time. Nothing but respect for any of those young people. And they come to the Dedman Center, and we always do a little special welcome when VMI comes, and the fans respond. We get a lot of veterans. But that's our veterans. We're honoring the veterans that day when VMI comes in. Just lots of respect, lots of vibes. And you do, if you watch that game and it's everything surrounding it, and they usually do a nice job of showing you the post game. And I hope we never, ever, ever lose that. But you do get chills. It's one of the most special events that we have is the Army-Navy football game. No disrespect to Air Force at all. Anytime the academies play one another, it's very special. But Army-Navy football, I will watch until I no longer am around here. I will watch that game and enjoy it, and just enjoy it. Yeah, I get it. If you're a veteran, the game makes you cry. Heck, I get what David Teel, his father's connected to it. You do. It reminds you about all the things that this country is why we're the best damn country in the world, despite all the people that are trying to work to split us apart. Right? It reminds us about what we are about, what we're supposed to be about. And I hope people take stock. Paul says one of the best lines in the book, at Florida State, the 2 hardest hours of the day is for a player to practice. At the academies, it's the 2 easiest, right? Football practice, this is nothing. Yay, we get to go to practice and run sprints for 2.5 hours. Get the block. Let's go do blocking drills. Great book. I strongly, strongly suggest that book. A Civil War. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. The Navy woke me up to a lot of things in this, Rob. I bet so, Tebow. I bet so. Prometheus says, I doubt that Tech gets a top portal QB with the first-time play caller. Maybe. But you know what's more important than that? The money he's going to be offered. Money talks. So I think they're going to get a quarterback of some name. I think they'll get somebody that we've heard of that had a successful stop. Look, those types of things don't mean nearly as much anymore. They just don't coming out of the portal. Quarterbacks get the highest salary, and they are going out to the highest bidder. And anybody who tells you differently, okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we are. That's what's the environment that we're in. You would like to think, like you're saying, Prometheus, the quarterback would go, okay, what's the best fit for me? Who do they have? Ooh, well, okay. I won't make as much money, but I'm going to go somewhere where it's a better fit. You would like that. But I don't think that is the norm going forward. I really don't. By the way, the on top of all the complaining about the postseason, we have our Bowl Mania Challenge up. I posted the link on our Facebook page. I pinned it to the top of the Facebook page. You join for free. We're going to put together a prize pack for whoever wins it. I'll be in there. Jen will be in there picking games. Now, we're not eligible to win it. We're just in there picking with you. So you're guaranteed to have somebody who's a fan who wins it will win the prizes. Yeah. So join it. It's through the ESPN Fantasy mechanism. It's the simplest one. And it's just College Bowl Mania. So go join it. And it's easy. It's Big Dog Sports Talk, 4 words. BIGDAWG Sports Talk. Just like on the T-shirt that you should be getting for a Christmas gift. Yeah, some of them want to get in the league. Some understand this is going to be their payday. Right? Penn State quarterbacks didn't do anything in the NFL. Right? None. Zero. Zip. Who's the last Tech quarterback to do something in the NFL? I'm just thinking out loud here. Is that Tyrod? Is that right? Is that right? We'll see. I'd like to see Tech land Bobby Boucher Jr. in the hallway. So, yeah, they do. They want to get in the league, but I think they want a big payday too. They do. I don't know what you're saying, Chris. With 10, they'll flip that O-line and quarterback room. What are you saying, Chris? What's not true? With 10, they'll flip the O-line and quarterback room. I don't know. Yeah, Tyrod's still getting it done. Great dude, Tyrod. So glad to see that he's still playing. Got to see one of his best games in person at Lincoln, Nebraska. When we went out there, myself and Richie Davis took the show out there when we hung out with Aaron Andrews. Rush Limbaugh was there. It was crazy. And he made some plays in the fourth quarter and go. They'll get a top-flight quarterback. Well, I don't think anybody said they wouldn't get a good quarterback. I don't know what you're saying is not true. They'll get that's what I just said. They'll get a quarterback we've heard of. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying that those quarterbacks are coming out for the highest amount of money they're going to get. These are still young guys who haven't been at all exposed to the type of money that they're getting now. I mean, that's tough. Well, I guess it's easy in your mind, but it's tough to have to try to associate, wow, I'm going to have wealth before I'm even out of college. I'm going to have professional money wealth. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. So, yeah, they'll get somebody. I'm just saying the reasons they're going to do it is because money. It's all over the country. It doesn't take away from the kid coming here. And he's going to have to like James Franklin. He's going to have to like potentially what it could be, but he's going to want to get here. So, yeah. And that's the way it is across the country. That's why these guys are saving most of their NIL dollars for the portal. And don't you think the deals are going right now? You imagine the deals that are going right now? No, I did not, David. What happened? Brookville got a postseason ban next year? Logan Thomas, Brookville B, maybe the most popular, most well-known Brookville B football player of all time. Yeah, saw the O'Brien hire. Yeah. Yeah. No, I want to know more about that, David. What in the world happened? How does a high school team get a postseason ban? What happened? That's crazy. Did they use illegal players or something? I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't know the answer. I'm just asking the question because I'm just hearing about it here. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of messages coming in here about all this. That's good. We like that. Hit us up on the text line. We love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Sorry, taking the time to read all that. I guess I can do it later. I want to know what happened with VHSL and Brookville had a dispute over kids playing over their residence. So it was illegal players. Wow. Kid transferred VHSL, said he was ineligible, and they used him anyway. So they're stripped from the postseason next year. Ooh. That's tough, man. No, I didn't hear about any of that. Yikes. Mark Linneberg's the head coach at Brookville. That's unfortunate, to say the least. Wow. So they're just banned from the postseason. They can play the regular season, and they're banned from the postseason. I didn't see any of that reported. So they went to court, and they lost, I guess. Woo. So Logan Thomas's kids were in the dispute. Oh, that's ugly. That's messy. Wow. Thanks for the heads up, guys. See, I learned a lot from you. It's good. It's good. Yeah, thank you, Coach Byers. It was great. You just sent me a nice message. Yeah, that was fun, man. That was fun. Always fun with everybody today. A lot of fun with everybody in chat. A lot of fun with our guests today with Kion Brown. He was great. Damien Sordelett. Man, I love catching up with David Teel and JD Byers. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And thanks to all of you in chat. David says they were told not to play. An independent committee said they could. Brookville played them. Don't know who was in the wrong. It's just sad for the kids. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't know about any of that. That's unfortunate. And yeah, and then who's getting punished, right? Who's getting punished? The kids on next year's team. Right? Think about that reaction. The kids who did nothing wrong now get punished for 2026. Does that seem right? I don't think so. Seems very strange. But anyway, hit me up if you want a T-shirt. We got them for you. And we'll get them to you here locally for $20. And go join our Bowl Mania Challenge. I'll try to see if I can copy and paste the link here. Haven't quite figured that out yet. This world frightens and confuses me still. But anyway, thanks to everybody. Thanks to our guests. Tomorrow, the Thursday edition, Andy Bitter, Dwight Vick, and I think somebody from Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. I got to call Tim today, see if we can work that out. But enjoy your Wednesday. It's supposed to warm up today. We should have a big melt, thank goodness. And we'll talk to everybody tomorrow. Be good. Be proud. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.